his age moving forward with Jackson Dart. All right, moving on to the next trade. This is the biggest trade that occurred this weekend. You thought that Quinn and Williams trade was big? You thought that was impactful? Well, let me tell you something. This trade here between the Indianapolis Colts and the New York Jets caught me and I would say pretty much everyone completely off guard.
Even the person who got traded.
Even the person who got traded was shocked. And we quote, "So, in exchange for a first-round pick this year and a first-round pick next year and wide receiver Adonai Mitchell, the New York Jets will trade Sauce Gardner to the Indianapolis Colts." So that's right. Bro. Colts are trading away A.D. Mitchell and their next 2 first-round picks for Sauce Gardner. So I would say this is a massive trade, obviously, from just a value and the pieces that are moving. But I think this is an excellent move for this Colts team to beef up this defense so that they don't fall behind, so that other offenses don't get ahead in that game script where they can force Daniel Jones into having a performance like he did last week. Sauce is an uber talented guy. We know how good he is, and he's been spending his career on the Jets. Jets fans, I love you, by the way. God bless you guys for what you guys have to go through.
For real, bro.
I really do feel bad.
On the daily, bro.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. Woody Johnson's a terrible owner. But yeah, Sauce is going to be on a solid team. I mean, the Colts aren't the best run organization in the NFL, but I'd say they're average to above average. I'd say they do a fair job of drafting, and look at they picked up Daniel Jones. Shane Steichen's a good coach. The team's playing amazing right now. Adding Sauce to that's going for the Super Bowl right there. And I don't see this as like the Commanders from last year where it's like this breakout random team, this ragtag bunch of veterans. Like this Colts team, they got the offensive line. They got 2 pass rushers in what's his name? Laiatu Latu and Kwity Paye, but I feel like there's another guy I'm forgetting. But they have DeForest Buckner on the inside. The defense, they made all those additions in the secondary this offseason.
Kwity Paye is still there.
Yeah, Kwity Paye. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's somebody else.
I used to be a big fan. I just haven't heard anything from him lately.
Yeah, so now their defense is going to have some serious ceiling. And I have a feeling this is going to pan out well. This team is going to be in the playoffs, and I think Sauce has never played a playoff game.
This move, do you think this move is the move we're going to talk about? If this is what leads the Colts to win, maybe the first round, the second round of the playoffs, kind of thing, it's going to be this move we talk about, or
absolutely.
The development of the whole team?
Absolutely, because looking at the Colts this season, I mean they're having an incredible season. But their losses right now are to the Rams and Steelers, two playoff teams. The Rams game was not ugly; it was a close game. The Steelers game was ugly, but their best wins on the season are against the Broncos and the Chargers. It's not like they've really beaten an elite team yet. I think this can help them. And in the playoffs, you're versing essentially all elite teams that are hot or teams that are fully healthy and very good. You're going to need a guy like Sauce to match up against their wide receiver and, their alpha. In the AFC, there's not quite as many alpha wide receivers, but you still have them here and there. And if he's not an alpha, then Sauce is going to clamp him for the whole game. So having a guy like him, I mean, he is a little poor in run defense. That's what I will say. But they made additions, everywhere else that should... it's not going to get any worse by adding Sauce, because it's going to be so much harder to pass that maybe, they can creep up on the run more. But yeah, Dan, do you have anything else to add about this? I mean, I just feel like it's a massive trade and it's going to help them a lot.
I think this is like the one thing they really needed on their defense was that like solidified, just like cornerback 1. I still remember when Xavier Howard was on the Colts and he was cooking, lighting up, Gilmore when he was on the Colts and he was lighting up. It was like, it's something that I feel like the Colts, when they have it, they get hot for a little bit and they're able to really get shit going. And now having Sauce, a young guy that if you keep him good, you keep him healthy, that could be your dude for the rest of your time there. You know what I'm saying? For him to finally start winning and get somewhere, I wouldn't think as a player you'd want to leave. So this overall, for Sauce mentally as a player to develop fantastically and a defense to capitalize with the role that they're on, you know what I mean? Now my question is Daniel Jones next week, does that flop continue, or
it looks like you're frozen a little bit. I don't know if you can still hear me, but I know that you're asking me is the flop with Daniel Jones going to continue with the addition of Sauce Gardner? So while I wait for you to return, Mr. Daniel, if you can hear, I will answer that question. So I think the Daniel Jones flop is very predictable. All you need to do against this Colts team is stop the run, first of all, so that they can't get into manageable second and third down situations. And then you need to bring pressure, and you need to force him to make a very quick decision and be precise when he does. So when you see the turnovers and you see the fumbles, that's all him, kind of panicking. So I think this, like I said, is going to help them stay in a positive game script, at least to start most games. They'll be able to run the ball, and they'll be able to, stay in those situations and not have to ask too much from Daniel Jones. But I just hit up Dan. There he is. He's back. But
We're back.
Dan,
Holy shit.
I'm currently answering your question as of if the Daniel Jones flop will continue, and I just explained how I think it's totally dependent on the opposing defense if they're able to stop the run and if they're able to get pressure on him. If they're an elite defense, like I said, this Colts team hasn't beaten like an elite team yet. They only scored 20 points against the Rams. I get that's not terrible, but you kind of see where I'm going with this, where it's like, most of that was probably Jonathan Taylor, if I remember correctly, and they're gonna. Their offense is not going to look the same against elite defenses and elite teams and well-coached teams. So I'm not saying it was predictable to say the Steelers would have beaten them or anything, but in hindsight, it makes a lot of sense. The Colts clearly run through Jonathan Taylor, and he's their MVP. But we've got to move on to the next trade, and this is another really fun one. I love this trade. The Seattle Seahawks